Well, after months and months of waiting, the PlayStation 5 has finally arrived. PlayStation 5 marks one of the largest generational transitions that we've seen to date in video games. The console is very impressive, and it's going to be a really interesting experience to see how developers are going to take advantage of the power and features of the PlayStation 5. But is the PlayStation 5 worth it quite yet in late 2020? Well, I'm going to try and answer that for you in this review. Starting off with the hardware, this is a very large console, probably the largest console to date. It is massive, it takes up a lot of space in your entertainment center, but I'm guessing the reason that the PlayStation 5 is so large is because of the PlayStation 4's cooling issues and because the PlayStation 4 was very, very loud sometimes. Putting the size of the PlayStation 5 to side for a moment, I personally think it's a very good looking console. It's incredibly futuristic in its design and it almost looks like a modern building. In my experience, the PlayStation 5 has run very quietly. This is again partly, I think, because of the size. It allows air to flow through the PlayStation so much smoother than in the PlayStation 4. This console almost makes no noise at all in my experience, except, however, in my personal opinion, the disk drive does make quite a bit of noise. I did buy the disk drive version, and I only had one issue with the disk drive, which was that the first time I put a disk into it, it seemed to make quite a lot of noise, almost an abnormal amount of noise, almost sounded like a grinding noise, but I was not able to replicate that after the first few days. Now, looking at the launch titles of the PlayStation 5, Spider-Man Miles Morales is excellent, and it really does showcase all of the additional graphics features such as ray tracing and enhanced lighting effects. It looks fantastic in 4K. I played in the cinematic mode. There is also a performance mode if you wanted to do 60 FPS, but I did it in the cinematic mode and it looked fantastic and ran amazing. Definitely a must-have for the PlayStation 5. I have not played Demon's Souls, however, I've heard very good things about the game and I've also heard that it's a must-own. Astro's Playroom also comes preloaded onto your PlayStation 5, and I think it's definitely worth checking out for all PlayStation 5 owners. I think the first thing you should do once you have your PlayStation 5 set up is load up Astro's Playroom and mess around in it a bit. It really is a tremendous showcase for the controller, as I showcased in my controller video. In terms of storage, the PlayStation 5 is advertised at 825 gigabytes of SSD storage. However, once the OS is on there and everything else needed to run the console, it leaves you with only 667 gigabytes of usable space. While this is not enough for 2020 standards, there is expandable storage that is limited to PS4 games, so you can have PS4 games stored on a separate external hard drive. However, you cannot store PS5 games on an external hard drive. Post-launch, there will be an internal SSD expansion slot that will be taken advantage of. It's already on your PlayStation 5, but Sony has not released the functionality for it yet. So later down the line, they will be having drives available for your PlayStation 5, which you'll be able to store PlayStation 5 games on the internal SSD slot. Now, how does this SSD work? Well, PlayStation 5 games on this SSD load obscenely quick. For example, Miles Morales will take you from the home screen, if you click X to load the game, less than 10 seconds to go from home screen to in-game. That's incredible. We have never seen this before in terms of console gaming, and it truly is a revolutionary experience. Now, for the question we've all been asking for. How quickly does GTA 5 load? Well, happy to say, GTA 5, after all of the splash screens are done in your main menu, and once you actually get to the loading screen where it says loading story mode, takes less than maybe around 5 to 10 seconds. It really is incredible to see how these SSDs work. In terms of game performance, all of the games that I've tried ran perfectly smooth. All of the PS4 ports on the PlayStation 5 run super smooth. All of the games. I've tried Gran Turismo Sport, Until Dawn, all sorts of other games, and they all seem to run excellent. Now, for the UI and the user experience, the UI is very, very polished and it's super smooth, really easy to figure out where you're going to navigate to, and it's very intuitive. Everything feels very high quality, and the ambient music that plays while you're in the menus really adds to the atmosphere that this is a very high quality product that has had a lot of time put into development. One cool thing that I noticed is if you hover over a game in your main menu, it will actually play some of the music for that game. So for Spider-Man Miles Morales, it'll play the theme music for that game. Same with Grand Theft Auto 5. Again, any other game that you've tried, even Shadow of the Colossus, which is an older game, has music playing on it, which is really cool, and I think it really does add to that atmosphere. The PlayStation Store is now built into the console itself and is no longer a separate app. What this means is there's no loading. All you do is you hover all the way to the left, go to the PlayStation Store, and you can navigate through all the games, you can purchase games, and it really is much smoother than on PlayStation 4. There is 2 separate sections in the main menu. There is a section for games, which obviously asks you to access your games, as well as there is a section for media, which allows you to access YouTube, Spotify, Netflix, whatever you have installed. Now, the game library, where you actually access all of your games, is very intuitive as well. I find it very easy to navigate. It has definitely a very good section for games that you own, games that are PlayStation Plus games, as well as a few other options as well. There is also a media gallery, which allows you to look at clips, screenshots that you've taken, as well as little clips that are recorded automatically by PlayStation for trophies. So for example, it'll record about 15 seconds from where you got a trophy. Let's say you've completed a mission, you get a trophy, it'll record the last 15 seconds of that mission, and it'll save that in your media gallery. Now, when you press the PlayStation button on your controller, it doesn't immediately take you to home. It actually opens up a little taskbar. On this taskbar, the first option, going from left to right, there's a home button, which obviously allows you to go home to the main menu screen of your PlayStation 5. There's a game switcher, which shows your most recently played games, your 3 most recently played games, and it will not allow you to quickly switch quick resume like the Xbox Series X can, but it will just show your 3 most recently played games and allow you to switch between them yourselves. After that, there's a section for notifications, which will let you know if anyone's invited you to parties or if your games have finished downloading. After notifications, there's your game base, which allows you to control party chat, interact with friends, all that good stuff. Then there's a music section, which you can connect to Spotify and play music in the background while you game. After music, there's a sound section, which will allow you to separately adjust volumes for different features such as games, party chat, or you could adjust the volume of the controller speaker. There's also, after that, an option to turn the controller microphone on or off. Then you have your accessories, so this is for your controllers, or if you have any wireless headsets connected, this will be for that. Then you have your profile, which will allow you to access your own profile and go through all of you need to do. And lastly, but not least, there is your power settings, so you can turn your PlayStation 5 off, you can put it into rest mode, or you can restart the console. Now, for my overall experience and whether I recommend it immediately or not, I have had no issues with my PlayStation 5 apart from the aforementioned disk drive noise, which only happened on day 1, and again, I was not able to replicate it after day 1. My PlayStation 5 has been super smooth, super quiet, had no issues, and in terms of whether I recommend it now or recommend it later down the line, I think that there is no immediate need to rush out and buy a PS5 right away. However, once new games start coming out for this console, it was definitely going to be a must-own. I think that with all of the new features the controller brings and all of the new horsepower that the console itself has, this is really going to take gaming to the next level, and I think it's definitely a must-own in 2021. In 2020, however, it's definitely not a must-own, but it's a highly recommended purchase. I definitely think it's worth the $600 Canadian, and I'm glad I spent the money. This console truly impressed me. The SSD really does just blow you away the first time you load up a game. If you want to see a full review of the controller, I've already posted it. It's a short video, but it goes over everything you need to know about the PlayStation 5 controller. Okay everyone, so that's it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you could leave a like, that would be really appreciated, and if you'd subscribe to the channel, again, that would be super amazing. I would really appreciate the support. I'll be having much more content coming. If you'd like me to review Spider-Man Miles Morales as well as some of the other launch games, let me know in the comments, and as I read every single comment. Alright everyone, so that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.